that works for you. This is WGXA News on Fox 24.
All new tonight, caught. 2 inmates accused of killing 2 corrections officers are caught shortly after one of their family members speaks publicly.
No, he's not a monster. He's a person that has made some very, very bad decisions.
Plus, a man who went to church with one of the fallen officers tells us the kind of person Christopher Monica was. Good evening and thanks for watching WGXA News at 10. I'm Amir Jacobson.
And I'm Raymond Tubb. We begin with live team coverage of the capture of 2 inmates suspected in the killings of 2 Middle Georgia correctional officers. WGXA's Evan Watson is at our live desk. He's following the latest developments. And Shannon Lilly is live in Milledgeville. If you're talking to people who knew the officers that were ambushed.
Putnam County deputies say Donnie Rowe and Ricky DeBose overpowered officers Christopher Monica and Curtis Ballou Tuesday. Investigators say they took their guns and ambushed them while they were being taken from Hancock State Prison to the Diagnostics and Classification Prison in Jackson. Our live team coverage begins at the live desk with WGXA's Evan Watson.
And Evan, you first saw Governor Nathan Deal's tweet just a little over an hour and a half ago about the inmates' capture. What do we know right now?
Yeah, we know a lot more information right now how the inmates were caught tonight. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation tells us the inmates broke into a couple's home in Tennessee and held them captive. They then left the home by stealing that couple's car. The couple called for help and police chased the stolen car down. The inmates crashed the car near Murfreesboro, Tennessee. They then started running on foot and police caught them. This is a picture right here of the 2 suspects lying on the ground in handcuffs after being captured. One of the suspects, Donnie Rowe, used to live just 40 miles from where the duo was caught tonight. There was gunfire, but no injuries. This search spread today with billboards going up in Middle Georgia and other areas to find the inmates. We saw this one at Riverside and Wimbish in Macon. Investigators wanted the public to know just how dangerous these men are, and now Putnam County Sheriff Howard Sills says, quote, "The burden of danger is off, and that is the greatest relief we have." Right now, the inmates are in the Rutherford County Jail in Tennessee and will be extradited back to Georgia. Sills says they're coming back as soon as possible. And just into the newsroom right now, Governor Deal says, quote, "Rest assured, justice will be served." We'll update you with more information as it breaks at the live desk. Evan Watson, WGXA News.
We'll do it 10. DeBose's cousin in Augusta spoke this afternoon. She was pleading for her cousin to turn himself in and telling us this isn't like him.
The Ricky I know is nothing like what we're seeing on TV with all the tattoos, the heinous things that are going on. That's not the Ricky I know. Probably about 2013, he had gotten out of jail apparently during that time, and he had come to church on a Wednesday night. Him and his brother and their girlfriends come to church. And, you know, he told me that he was trying to do right.
Is he a monster?
No, he's not a monster. He's a person that has made some very, very bad decisions. Don't do this to your mama and your daddy. It's a sad way for a life to end, son.
Well, new tonight, we're hearing from Georgia Department of Corrections leaders about the deaths of 2 of their own officers. Commissioner Greg Dozier now talking about when he found out officers Monica and Ballou were shot dead.
Pain and anguish that was in the toes of my feet went up to my heart. And as that day went on, and I learned more and more about these 2 officers and met their families, the impact of these cowardly acts is far-reaching.
Officer Monica was well known in his community.
Yeah, new tonight, many people around there are mourning his loss, including a man who went to church with him. And that's where our Shannon Lilly joins us live with exclusive memories of Officer Chris Monica.
That's right, I'm live outside of First United Methodist Church, which is the church that Chris Monica attended. He's the slain officer that was killed Tuesday. Now, everyone that I spoke with today say that he attended this church for about 5 years and lived in Baldwin County for about 20 years. And everyone that I spoke with just says that he was just a nice guy. He came to the church often, and he was just a good guy all around. And the church community and the community in Milledgeville is just completely devastated.
Shock.
There's so many questions, don't understand why.
and devastation.
Things like this just shouldn't happen.
Raymond Grimes of Milledgeville says he first met fallen officer Chris Monica and his family through their church, First United Methodist.
All good people. I mean, they're just active with the church.
And would expect to see Monica every Wednesday night.
I work in the kitchen every Wednesday night that we have Wednesday night supper, and I always see him come through the line.
He says just 2 weeks ago, the church hosted a birthday party for Monica's daughter.
Kind of ironic that this happened so shortly after that.
Grimes says the entire church community has been in mourning since the news of Monica's death hit Tuesday, but says he can only imagine what the family is going through.
The daughter especially, having to live without a dad at her age, is going to be tough with her.
Others I spoke with say Tuesday's events have impacted the entire community.
It's made everybody talk, of course. You know, why would it not be said? 2 innocent guys lost their lives and 2 families no longer have a father or a brother or whatever the case may be, grandfathers. So people are tremendously saddened by that, and it shouldn't have happened.
Back out here at First United Methodist Church, funeral arrangements are underway for Chris Monica. They'll be held right here on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Live in Milledgeville, Shannon Lilly, WGXA News.
The funeral for the other officer killed, Curtis Ballou, will be held at 11 a.m. on Saturday. It will be inside of Wilkinson County High School's auditorium. His burial will be at the Red Level Cemetery on Highway 441 South. And new tonight, people in his community are saddened and trying to understand this crime.
It's going to be so hard on the families and the things that they've done and things that they're going to go through, just knowing that their family members were innocently killed due to this situation.
Officer Ballou graduated from Clark Atlanta University and served in the Army. He leaves behind a father and 2 sons, along with several brothers and sisters. Stay with us throughout the hour. We've got all of our resources working for you to bring you updated pictures, video, and information on tonight's capture. And in about 10 minutes, we'll take you live to Tennessee for a report on how that capture went down tonight. Another story developing right now, severe weather in Middle Georgia.
Our Chief Meteorologist Jeff Cox is in Storm Track Central, where he's been monitoring the weather all night. And Jeff, we've had several warnings throughout our area and a nasty line of lightning that was bearing down on the area earlier tonight. What's the very latest?
Still very nasty in northeast Houston County around Warner Robins, and now that particular storm moving into Twiggs County, still with a severe thunderstorm warning on it as we speak. Time now 10:07. Let's go straight to the radar. We'll show you the area of most concern, and it's that area that really sticks out like a sore thumb. From Warner Robins over to Jeffersonville, this storm right over the radar site in Jeffersonville as we speak. It is that yellow outlined area that is an active severe thunderstorm warning. It includes Warner Robins and Bon Air all the way up to Jeffersonville. In this particular storm, a very heavy rain, a lot of thunder and lightning, but also some strong wind gusts. In and around the radar site, wind gusts right now potentially 30, 40 to 50 miles per hour. As this storm moved through Warner Robins, moved through Houston County, it was producing damaging wind gusts. We know at least one tree has been downed in South Houston County. Takes a little while for other damage reports to come in. I suspect there is some more damage to be reported in Houston County when it's all said and done. This storm is showing some minor signs of weakening, so hopefully that trend will continue. As far as the rest of Middle Georgia is concerned, watch this storm as it slides towards Wilkinson County over the next few minutes. That's the show-stopping storm. Everyone else is free of severe weather right now. Coming up later in this half hour, we'll have the latest on tonight's forecast. We also look ahead to Friday and the weekend. That's in just a few minutes.
All right, Jeff. Well, new tonight, Capitol Police Officer David Bailey, who helped thwart the attack on the congressional baseball practice yesterday, threw out the first pitch at tonight's congressional charity game. Majority Whip Steve Scalise is still in critical condition, but improving. And new at 10, our chief political analyst, Boris Epstein, a former senior Trump campaign advisor and administration official, provides his insights and commentary about the political discourse in our country.
By now, you have undoubtedly heard of the terrible shooting that took place right outside of Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. Congressmen, civil servants, together with their staff, family, friends, and brave law enforcement officers were targeted by an unhinged shooter. This is not a time for politics, not a time to dole out blame. It is a time to send thoughts and prayers to the victims. It is also a time to take a moment and reflect on how we've gotten here. I'm not coming to you to preach. Politics is a tough business. I know that firsthand. Political divisions have run deep in our country. Of course, There's going to be disagreement on key issues. That is the basis of a strong democracy. But we cannot allow for those disagreements to grow into violence, verbal, let alone physical. Let's remember, the victims of the shooting were on that baseball field practicing for the annual congressional baseball game. That is an event which goes back more than a century. It brings together both sides of the aisle in camaraderie and dedication to charitable causes.
We may have our differences, but we do well in times like these to remember that everyone who serves in our nation's capital is here because, above all, they love our country.
Violence of any kind is unacceptable in our society, and I condemn this action in the strongest possible terms.
We are united in our shock. We are united in our anguish. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
Just because there are two sides of an issue, usually there are even more than that, doesn't mean that one side is evil, unpatriotic, or anything close to that. My bottom line for you is simple. Let us all take a step toward being united, and if we do disagree, to do so with civility and kindness for one another.
Well, coming up in our next half hour, see what continues to divide politicians in the nation and why this isn't the first violent attack on Congress. We're keeping amputees on the move despite limitations.
Next on WGXA News at 10, meet some Middle Georgia athletes who don't let anything stop them.
Well, guys, he's arguably the most electric player in Atlanta Falcons history, and he's heading to Middle Georgia this weekend. Why is Michael Vick in town? I'll explain coming up later in sports.